Today we are traveling to Bulansan. This is nannuoshan. I'm Gabriele. I was told that the road to Bulangshan and to Bulangshan is completely paved, but well, that doesn't seem to be the case. We left the hotel this morning, a really nice hotel. We had, I would say, 2 very comfortable nights. In the early morning, we spent about 30 to 40 minutes just to try the teas that we collected yesterday, a few samples of black tea, the one that was sun-dried and the other one that was air-dried, and then also the gushu from nannuoshan, from Banpo. And then we are taking now a taxi, a comfortable taxi ride to Bulansan to start another little adventure more into the nature. We just arrived 3 hours on a bumpy road, but we made it. And while the businessmen discuss business, the wife of the farmer is preparing delicious food for us. We are in a village not too far from Bulansan, the Bulangshan town, maybe 5 kilometers. The village here is called Mangnan, or it has also a second name, Weidong. The reason for that is that Weidong is actually a village farther up the mountain, but a few years ago that village was moved down to the valley, and with that movement also basically the name of the village was moved down. Here now we took the car, came up about 200 meters and are searching for some waterfalls. There are people picnicking here. Here we are at about 1200 meters, and now we are walking all the way down to the village, which is at about 1000 meters. It is the first day in Bulang, so we are just enjoying the nature, enjoying the food, and then see what tomorrow brings to us. There you see the Weidong village where we are heading to, and farther on the back on this hill here there is actually a tea garden. I try to zoom in. This tea garden has been there for about 30 years, so those trees has been planted about 30 years ago and is left grown, so planted trees but unpruned and untreated. Nearly each house here is in the tea business. On the ground floor they have the machine for the tea production, and on the top floor is where they live. This is the entrance of the village, and I am in downtown. Here is the only shop, and this is the central place. We came now up from the village to here, and this is actually where the farmers were living before, and now there are just tea trees. You see some here, actually pretty much everywhere.
So here we are in the Weidong village in the old tea gardens, and it's really interesting to see that in 2003 actually they cut the trees here. So before it was like all the trees here in the garden, they were like this, and then they cut the trees, you know, and then like they started to split up, and this is the only tree that is left where you can like still see the original big tree. But you have to imagine, like all those trees, they have been like this, but they cut them like down here. You can see like all the trees you can see here, they have been like big trees, but they cut them like right at the bottom, so now you don't see like the big stem anymore. And it's also very important to notice that here in all those tea gardens they don't use any pesticides and herbicides, so they clean the gardens by hand, like all the grass and everything.
Did I actually mention how old the trees are? I mean, despite the fact that they were cut in 2003, but when were they originally planted here?
So they don't really know for sure. Like he just admits because they haven't been living here for all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But he says because when they came, they started to plant new gardens.
Okay.
And just by experience, you know, from the 30, 40 years they have been living here, and they see the trees growing. They say the trees, like the oldest trees here, they must be around 100 years. Maybe a little bit older, around 100 years, yeah.
Actually, it's not too bitter.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I thought... not bad. We came up to another tea garden. And here there is another massive trunk that has been also brutally cut in 2003, as all other trees around here. Here they're still picking leaves. I thought that the season was over. Oh, there is someone climbing up a tree behind here. This here is the oldest tree that they have in the village. It was also cut in 2003, but you can still see how massive it is. They also have tidy.
No, they don't have tidy here. But of course, I mean, they planted new tea trees from seeds, actually.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is the new tea gardens, like gardens.
Like this one here is the new one.
No, this is not a new one.
This is not
but
the
they
new
have
one.
other ones, like they are maybe like 30, 40 years old, which are planted. And then of course they have all those old tea gardens with the like around 100-year-old trees. And what I found very interesting, because you know, like all the village, you know, how do people know how to use it? And they, it's actually, you know, it goes by head. Like so each one just gets like 20 to 30 old trees.
Not by family, but for each person in the
Yeah,
family.
yeah, for each person in the.
Oh, right.
But grown up. I didn't ask actually.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I assume it's grown up.
The adults. Yeah,
the
yeah.
adults,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Mm.
And what about this king tree there? Is it also assigned to one family, one lucky family that got the king?
No, it's actually very interesting. It took me a while to understand when he explained it to me. It's like each year they have a sitting, they have a meeting, like the whole village comes together.
Okay.
And they sell it. They sell it to someone in the village.
Oh.
So if a
okay.
guy, like if one person in the village says, "Oh, I have some good customers,"
Oh.
I know I can make that much money. So
Okay.
for me, it's worth. I spent so much money for this year, for this
So-
season, to buy
All right.
the.
I think we have to speak to him and ask how much money do we have to give him?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, yeah.
How much money nannuoshan have to pay him to get the tree? Tonight we stay at the house of Asan, which is the nickname of the farmers that brought us around during the day. So I take the opportunity to show you around, so do you get the feeling of a farmer house in Bulang. Let's start outside. This is the whole house. And there are different ways of entering. You can just park your car like he did here and then access it from some steps that you see there in the back. Or you can just simply take the stairs directly here. They are pretty steep, and actually here there is an in-between floor that is for indoor withering. The first room is, I would say, an open air living room that you see here with a China's map and a world's map. And they have also a living room indoor just for the winter in the cold days. We have to say that here the temperature really never falls below 15 degrees, extremely rarely between 10 and 15 degrees centigrade, so that's why everything is pretty open. They have some storage room here on this side, also pretty open, and a guest room here. Other sleeping rooms are inside there. We don't want to disturb too much. And on this other side we see actually the kitchen where Asan's wife is preparing food. Actually, here we are getting ready for dinner, and you see that they are still boiling water old style with wood fire, something I've seen also in other places in Yunnan. And they have also a gas stove here with a wok. Let's go back on the outside. I would say everything here is super clean. I've been in many apartments and countryside places, and this is probably the cleanest flat I've ever seen. This is the bathroom, and is also very clean. They have two showers, one here and one there, because this one is with electricity and this is with the solar panels. So when there is not enough sun, they have to use the other one. There is a sink for washing the dishes here. Going back, there is an additional floor up. Let's see what there is up there. Right. Here we have another room for tea. Here tea is set for drying. We see that there is some tea on the floor here. Let's have a look. This is what they call summer tea. It's tea that it will be sold to large factories. Large factory would pass by different towns and just buy tea, and this will be used for Sheng Pu'er. Here we have the tea room with Benjamin and Hassan enjoying a last tea before dinner. We came over to the factory of the family. It is actually built and managed by him and his cousin. Today they are processing Sheng Pu'er. They have pickers that collected leaf from a ecological garden, Chao Mu, so trees not far from here. And let's have a look what they are doing over there. Here we have the withering. All the leaves have been spread out just right now actually on 4 different withering beds that we see here. After the withering, they will go behind the camera. That's pretty hot, so they are already warming up the wok. Well, and as you can see from the reflex here, is actually not gas, is wood.